This video features a strip down and rebuild of a Schenker Smart30 Watermaker. My wife and I are liveaboard cruisers, and we've been on the boat living off grid in anchorages for 2.5 years. But while it is fantastic, there is a lot of time and money goes into repairs and preventative maintenance. One issue we've been having is the water problem. To live at anchor in remote places, one essential item you need is water. Water makes it possible to stay out for longer. Obviously we need water to drink, but we could carry a supply of bottled water. Now this would last us quite some time, but to live comfortably you also need water for showers, for dishes, for laundry, and this is why a Watermaker makes life just that much easier and more comfortable. Our latest problem is high pressure and a large pressure drop on alternating beats of the ERS. Now I'm told that this is quite an uncommon problem. The problem, it sounds like, lies with the ERS itself. Now the ERS is a component that most people will not have to take apart, and if you do take apart, usually it will be through a dealer or the manufacturer. And we've had lots of support from the UK dealer and also the manufacturer, but ultimately they are not able to issue us with the replacement parts that we need under the 3-year warranty. Replacement parts for the Clark pump run at over £700. So if you're thinking of buying one of these and you have a similar usage profile, you should be prepared for this extra cost. So to strip down the Clark pump you will need 4mm Allen, 6mm Allen, some spanners, 14, a 17 and a 19. You'll need a flathead screwdriver and a large shifting spanner. Now, the only reason I need the large shifting spanner is for the high pressure hose connections, which are larger than a 19, but I don't have larger than a 19 in a spanner. In stripping it, I found it's easier to work on this thing without all the external connections and while it's free of the base. So first of all it's got to come off of the base. To do that, there are 4 Allen bolts at the base of the unit. It's the 6mm key that takes those off. Once these bolts are off, there's still 2 high pressure hoses that are connecting the Clark pump to the rest of this group. So the bolts are off, and now it's these high pressure connections at the back. Turn this round so you can see. Here's the first high pressure. Now I've already freed it off, so that's why it's loose here. Otherwise we'd need the shifting spanner. Sometimes they feel like they stick a little bit, and if you just put like ease pressure on the hose, it's easier to twist it off. So that's one off, and the next one's on the base, on the very bottom in here. Let's see. Okay, so that's the 2 high pressure hoses off. The Clark pump is free, and we can remove the base and the membrane. With the base off, these ones can be unscrewed this way. Now I'm unscrewing these by hand because I haven't tightened them up when I've reassembled this, but you may need the 19mm will fit these connections quite easily. And when they come off, I found that the plumbing tape was quite dirty. So when it goes back on, I'll strip that tape off, clean them up, and put new tape on. Most of these will come off just by hand, but occasionally you might need the spanners for this. I couldn't actually manage to unscrew the thing at the base of the pump itself. Only there's a little adapter, so that part comes off for me. There's for the brine water. Okay, let's get that off. It's off. It's off. Now that's, I'll put new tape on that one. It's the depressurization valve. And the depressurization fitting. Now it's easy to at this stage put things back so you don't forget how and where things came from. So this one went into there, and there. That was to there. And that to there. To strip off the top part, what we need is the 8mm Allen. Four bolts in the top. Voila. So the O-rings would sit in that place, and that's where the four bolts go through. So we'll take this away for a minute and we'll look at the top part. Again with the 8mm Allen. There are another four bolts in each side. There we go. Four bolts. Insides, I usually take a paper towel and get in there and clean out, just to check how dirty they are. And the other side. So the purpose of this part of the unit is that if there's blockage, or if the hydraulics have got stuck in the middle of the two cylinders, this can get the unit to do a restart. So on occasions you'll be told, open the reset valve, screw in this rod, and unscrew the rod, close the valve, and you're ready for a reset. That's the unit reset. Now, when you're taking this block off, the sticker gets in the way, but if you crack it open and peel it off, there you go, it's free. So here's another O-ring. One this side, one that side. Now this, another O-ring. And what I've found is that there's quite a bit of dirt I found inside here. No, just water. Now my problem is that these rods, and I've got another one in the lower hydraulic unit, have got some slight scratching, and I can't really see it with the eye, but under some light you can run your you can shine on it, or you can run your fingernail across the top and you can just about feel some sort of hairline scratches. To replace the seals in this unit, we need to dig inside of this block and remove each of these and replace them. To take apart and put back together the lower unit, you need to undo these bolts and the bolts in the middle. I've already taken them off, so it's easy to show you how it comes apart. Basically, it comes out. It won't come out that easy for you. This is because I've taken it apart and put it back together again. And all of these parts will actually come off. Let's see, but they'll take some easing. If you can't just twist it off, just backwards, forwards, just a millimetre at a time, eventually they'll come free. Another tip is that each of these parts, they're basically identical, so you can't put it in wrong, because you'll know where the end should be and where the middle should be, because the holes on the bottom will line up. When you take apart the middle block, there are these plastic washers. The first two are a real pain to get out, and if you don't have the seal kit, don't bother, leave them in. I found this is a good tool for prizing them out, but when you take them out they're going to distort, so you can't use the one that you took out, you have to use a new one. The first two are the hardest, and the ones further inside are a smaller width, so they're actually easier to go back in. I've taken the lower hydraulic unit down to its component parts, and I'll show you an exploded view of what that looks like. We have the threaded bars, the tubes, for water will flow through those on the bottom, the rod which moves backwards and forwards. On the end of the rod you've got these polyurethane bushers, and on the central section, the central block, which there's a trick to taking this apart, you need to twist and pull. I found it's easy to grip this with my legs, with my knees, to have something to lever against, so that's how those ones come off. But everything else is straightforward. It's just nuts and washers. Just lay it out so you've got it in your head how it's going to go back together. What I found is that although this push sits neatly and falls through the tube quite easily, it fits. When I looked inside very carefully, I found that one side of this bush was touching the cylinder. I can see on the bush that there were some scratches here. To fix the scratches, what I've done is with a piece of 600 grit, I've just polished the scratch out of the bush, and I've checked that it can still travel nicely in the cylinder, and I will also polish out the scratches in the cylinder. To change the O-ring, I've got a pick tool over here, and the pick tool I can just squeeze it in there, and there we go, the O-ring's out. Now luckily we had a new O-ring kit, and in there a new one for the bush, and that should just snap on like that. I'll change the rest of the seals and put the unit back together, and I'll see if that has solved the problem. I'll let you know.